Okay, so here's the deal. Recently, for those of you who don't know, NCSoft just released these fresh start hyper boosting servers in Korea. Along with it came like the pre-patch, I'm just going to call it that, to the expansion like update that's coming out next month. Now, this pre-patch update was very significant. I mean, there's a lot of different things that were introduced, different forms of vertical progression, different forms of content, like horizontal content, as well as a huge skill rework to the point where a lot of people are saying the combat is just, it's essentially 2.0. The combat feels a lot better. A lot of these every skill now has skill expressions, which are like tripods. Tripods in Lost Ark. We're gonna talk a little bit about that, but I'm gonna be going over the actual pre-patch content in a different video, a little bit more in detail. In this video, I'm just gonna touch up on it, but I wanted to share this word here with you because a lot of you guys probably don't know this. This went very much under the radar. Here, as you can see from this article, it's Throne in Liberty, the service area will be expanded so that more people can enjoy the game together. So if you are within 19 regions, some of which include Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, a lot of the countries in Southeast Asia that are not getting access to the Steam version or Amazon's version, you now have access to this game. Straight up, you can make a character right now without a Korean ID, without a Korean phone number, and play the game right now. You no longer need it. Obviously, if you register from Korea, you're going to need one. So if you register one from Taiwan or Singapore, you will not need an ID. And a lot of people from my community and a lot of people just in the Throne community are doing this because the the hyper boosting server is pretty juiced. It's pretty crazy. I'm pulling up footage here right now to give you guys a little bit of an idea as to what it's been like. Like big wars, a lot of people playing, really a lot of fun. Not to mention, this does include the latest version of Throne and Liberty, which means that the combat feels better, the pacing feels better, everything just feels better, and you're also getting fast track straight to the end game. The general consensus, as far as my Twitch chat goes, the general consensus has been that this is just significantly better than the open beta. Yeah, I agree with the notion that open beta would have been significantly better if we got this version of the game, because a lot of people are calling this Throne and Liberty 2.0. Okay, so back to the service region expansion here. If you guys do want to play this, I will link this in the description below, as well as a link to the purple downloader, the purple launcher. You do need to download the purple launcher, and when you do that, be sure to register an account from one of these regions. If you're from these regions, that should be easy. If you're not from these regions, if you're from like NA, you just want to play, you're gonna have to use a VPN. And if you're looking for a VPN, I also have a VPN service deal thing going on with Surfshark for the rest of this month, which is pretty much done soon, but I think there is a discount there. I'll link that in the description below. But regardless of whether you use that or not, any VPN would work fine. Just make sure you use a VPN when you go through the registration process. Like, let's say, for example, you're from the US, turn the VPN on to, let's say, Singapore here and register it through Singapore. Okay, so I believe my community, a lot of people did it through Singapore, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So that would be my recommendation. But yeah, this, guys, is... this was technically a global launch. I'm not gonna lie. I know the title is a little clickbait, but it's not actually, because this game did technically just launch globally when this announcement went through on the 24th, 2 days ago, along with the hyper boosting servers. I wish they actually announced this earlier. Maybe they did and I just missed it, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. But they did announce this just 2 days ago, and I feel like they should have announced this a lot sooner, because I know a lot of people from these areas, especially the Southeast Asia areas, probably would have been on board to try this out. However, it's not too late. If you do want to join us, I've also made a new character. Like I said, the hyper boosting servers are completely packed. They're very active right now, and it's a lot of fun. I am on hyper boosting server number 1. If you are interested, there are 2 hyper boosting servers, 1 and 2. 2 is totally fine, but a lot of the action and a lot of the content is happening on hyper boosting server number 1, so definitely come join me for that. Okay, so to give you guys a little bit of an idea as to some of the content updates, keep in mind there's a lot of content updates. I'm not going to be able to go through through all of them. There were literally 3 pages that we had to go through. Some of the things that I think are pretty fun or notable, you have this Amantoy house right here. Housing is something that they said they wanted to introduce, and we technically have it now. I think they're going to obviously expand on this. We'll have to see what they have in store, but I am in my personal Amantoy house right here, and I have what's called an Amantoy expedition, and these expeditions kind of work similar to Lost Ark expeditions, only these rewards, well, actually the rewards in Lost Ark were actually pretty good too, but these rewards are pretty good. And you can get these little pouches that also give some nice rewards, including mats to craft Ark boss weapons, which is pretty significant. But I'm gonna go straight into the major juice here, and that's gonna be the combat. I know a lot of you guys are very interested in the combat. This is going to be in its own video in itself later on. Here's this little training dummy here. But essentially they introduced what's called skill specializations, and you have a certain amount of points, and you can unlock with those points a certain amount of skill expressions or skill specializations, right? So I've got a few selected here, and to give you an idea as to how much this has really evolved, which by the way, a lot of abilities at a base has also changed. And also in addition to this, you're going to see how this ability is green, blue, and purple. In the original version, in the open beta when you guys played, there were different effects. So when you're at green, this was the base level skill, and then when you level it up to blue, it would have an added effect. Level it up to purple, it would have another added effect. That is no longer the case anymore, and everything is just like Valiant Brawl is Valiant Brawl all the way through, minus the skill expressions obviously, and every time you upgrade the ability, you're just upgrading the damage. That's essentially what it is now. When it comes to the skill expressions, this further transforms the skill. As you can see, this ability right here, if I don't take this, this is just the regular Ascension Slash. If I use this ability, this completely changes the skill to Charging Slash. So to give you an idea, because a lot of you guys did play Greatsword and Dagger has just insane mobility. Obviously, I still have the Shadow Strike here from Dagger, but just to touch base a little bit on the skill, I can actually teleport back to my original location by using this, and that is a skill expression. So I can literally go in. I can literally go in here, stun the target, hit him, and then go back to where I went. Shadow Step, right? So that's an example of what we're looking at here. And Greatsword, for example, has just insane mobility now. So I can use, like I said, I could use Shadow Step here. I can use a charge skill to position myself, and I can charge that back to the target, right? I can use my Ascension Slash Charging Strike. I believe it's called Charging Strike now, right? Charging Slash. That's also a gap closer here. So this is just... It's kind of crazy with how much mobility I have now. To give you an idea, if I were to... I gotta wait for this little dummy to come back. To give you an idea, here's like a basic movement rotation. Obviously, you know, this is going to depend on the situation you're in. I can maybe Shadow Strike. I can dodge back out here. Dash back to the target. I can Shadow Strike back, and then I can charge back to the target here. Right? And each one of these abilities, you can further add more skill expressions. And... guys, not only do the skills feel better, more fluid, faster, but just having a lot of different options here, which by the way, these are all presets. You can respec these completely for free. And I've got, as you can see, 6 skill presets down here. I think without the blessing, you'll probably have like 3. I think I get bonus presets by having the optional subscription that's available in Korea. That's not available in the global version, by the way. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be going over these abilities a little bit more in detail next time in a different video, because I do want to do this a little bit more justice and just really show you how these abilities have transformed. And of course, I'm going to make a new updated weapon / class guide video. Another thing that they updated were these dungeons, these challenge dungeons. So if I go to co-op dungeon here, I have challenge dimensional circles. Now, I have not personally done this. I'm going to be doing them. I'm going to be doing this on stream tonight for the first time. This is essentially a dungeon that you could do every week, and it's kind of similar to like a Mythic Plus or Maps and PoE. I shouldn't say Maps and PoE because that's obviously not a dungeon, but the reason why I said like Maps or Nightmare Dungeons in D4, I was going to also say that, is because there are modifiers to those dungeons. So I think Mythic Plus is probably the better example to give here, but you're essentially running a dungeon and you're going to have additional modifiers that make this a little bit more difficult, and you get some really, really nice rewards that are very significant, and there are rankings as well. Now, this is something that I am very excited for. This is more PvE content that I really think they need to push, because the PvE content is actually quite fun. It's not like Lost Ark levels of insanity or cinematics, but I have a lot of fun, and a lot of people on my stream that are watching, obviously the people that are biased towards the game are saying good things, but I made sure to ask the opinions of new viewers that have less bias towards the game, and I also have a non-Throne Liberty audience as well from other games, and I've asked their honest opinions on it, and the general consensus is that the PvE actually looks pretty good. So I love the fact that they're pushing this. They're pushing more. We're expected to get 12-man raids in January in Korea, so really excited about this. If you want to check these dungeons out, like I said, I'll be streaming live on Twitch tonight, and I do plan on diving into this. So yeah, pretty excited about this. The last thing I want to go over is the fishing. So I need to go to a body of water here, which I will do, and fishing has been introduced. I'm not gonna lie, this is not like game-breaking content, but it's, I would say, pretty good content. I'm actually really enjoying it. They've added this to allow players to just kind of chill but still do something in the game, and I think they've done a relatively good job with this. Let me show you how it works. You're gonna go down in here, and I'm going to hit this. I need to actually equip the fishing rod. I think it's on one of these presets here. Here it is. So I just hit this button right here, and I hit F. It says hello. Hello. All right. So we're gonna cast the float here. Oh no, I don't have. There we go. I need the bait. And we go fishing. This is pretty much it. I'll show you guys one little thing here. So I missed the cue. So I'm just pulling in the opposite direction, trying to keep this fish in front of me, keep that light green. And I have stamina here, so I can't, if I'm holding D, as you can see, if I'm dragging right, it burns stamina. I'm just trying to keep that fish right in front of me. Pretty easy. I'm gonna do it until this depletes all the way down to 0. I think, pretty sure. Yeah, all the way down to 0. Okay, and we just about got this guy. All right, so we got the silver anchovy. Now this right here, I could use as an ingredient for cooking different dishes. Cooking is another thing that they added. I'm not going to go into the cooking in this video, but cooking is another thing. I think it's fantastic. You can cook dishes, and if you get a great success on the dishes, you can actually sell these dishes for lucent, and it can actually add up to quite a bit of lucent. Introducing more ways to farm lucent, I think, is fantastic. But when it comes to fishing, on top of these, on top of ingredients that you can get for your cooking, you can also get these little pouches or bags, and these bags have additional rewards, and some of these rewards are pretty significant, including mats to craft arc boss weapons. Again, I think this is fantastic. You can't sell those as well, by the way, for a lot of lucent. And I think the Queen Bellendir carapace right now is going for like 1,000 lucent, and you can get that as well. And yeah, this is just pretty cozy content that they added. Like I said, I'm not going to go super into detail in this video. I do plan on doing that in a different video. But yeah, the life skilling, as you can see here, you also have masteries here, or experience, leveling experience, whatever you want to call them. As I level up, my great success goes up, and all that stuff. But yeah, it does look like they are trying to push more life skill / PvE / horizontal content in this game, and I think that's really great. Also, by the way, for those of you who aren't playing in the Korean version, or thinking about maybe playing the Korean version, since it technically did just launch globally, the game is already translated in English, and they have announcements here, as you can see, in English. They also have like translation features here, where if someone types in Korean, you can see it in your localized language as well. So I think that's really cool. If you guys want to check out the game, be sure to come hang out with me on Twitch. I'll have links to the purple download launcher in the description, as well as whatever else you guys probably need. I'll think about it after I end this video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.